Hey, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and today I am unboxing the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethony. So this deck was created and written by Ethony, and the art is by Danielle Mulligan. And this Oracle deck comes in a really nice box with a little magnetic flap. I love these magnetic flap boxes, by the way. Okay, so let's open it up and see what it looks like. So this deck comes with a little guidebook, and the guidebook is really good. I've been using this deck for at least a couple of weeks now, and I've had a lot of chances to check out the guidebook, and it's good. It's got a picture, it's got keywords, there's meaning, affirmation, etc. Lots of good stuff in the little guidebook. All right, so this is what the backs look like. Really cute with the bees, and then the sides are silver, sort of gilded silver. And the cardstock is really good, so it's good quality cardstock. It's fairly thick and sturdy, and the finish is it's like a lovely matte finish. So I'm just going to slowly walk through this deck so you get a sense of what these cards are like. So like I said, I've been using this deck for about 2 weeks now, maybe a little longer than that. Maybe it's been like 3 weeks. And oh, I like this one. And I've found this deck to be amazing. I'll be honest. It's easy to use. I like this one too. Oh, this one's really pretty. It's easy to use, easy to read with, and I've found it to be like spooky accurate, like very, very accurate, and also very helpful. So I used it, oh, I like this one too. I don't think I've ever gotten that card yet. I've used it in a variety of readings. I've used it in readings with other people. I've used it mostly in readings with myself. And I used it a few weeks ago when there was something that I was struggling with, and I was feeling like really emotional. And I have to say, I really like the artwork on these cards. I like the colors. I like that the artwork is simple, yet there's a satisfying amount of detail and color. And they're atmospheric. Like, look at this card. This is just so atmospheric. I feel like I'm there in the card. So anyway, back to my story about myself. I was kind of charged up about this thing, which I won't go into because it's not really that exciting. And so I asked these cards, and I can't even remember the question I asked, but it was related to what I was struggling with. And I drew a few of these cards, and it was so helpful, and it just helped me like slow down and kind of focus and catch my breath and just kind of calm down. And so it was one of those readings where I went into the reading, this is really pretty. I went into the reading feeling really ungrounded and upset and emotional, and I came out of it feeling totally calm and at ease with everything. And I've also used this card or this deck in readings for other people, and I've found it to be an easy deck to use. You know, you've got the one keyword on the bottom and then an image, and I just find that it's an easy deck to work with. I like the symbols on the cards. I think that it's creative. It's I find with oracle decks, like I have a lot of oracle decks, and I will admit there's a lot of oracle decks that, you know, they all start to look the same after a while. So I'm always looking for kind of some unique little bits. I like this one, Unplug. And I find that this deck offers a lot of uniqueness. Oh, I feel like we just had that card. Yeah, have a double. Okay, that's special. So once I finish going through this deck, I am going to do a reading. A 1-card reading. So I think this deck, I really like this deck, and I think it's going to be kind of, I mean, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's kind of been my go-to deck for doing readings on myself. So I think it works good as like a special deck just for yourself. But like I said, I've used it in readings for others, and it's been really good for that as well. It works really nice for daily draws, for, you know, just drawing 1 card. And works good for, I mean, it's a very versatile deck, I guess is what I'm saying. I've used it in bigger readings where I use multiple cards. I've used it in smaller readings, and it works good for all of that. This one's really cool. The deck has a modern feel to it. And like I said, the artwork just has like a simplicity to it that is kind of a relief. It's not too busy or overwhelming. Yet there's enough details to keep it interesting and to sort of jog your intuition. All right, so we're back to where we started. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, and I'm going to ask the deck, what card do we most need to see right now in this moment? Ooh. Okay, 2 cards came flying out, so I'm going to choose these 2. And the 2 cards that we got was Gift and Judgment. Okay. So let me just get these propped up properly. Ooh, and look at this, little amethysts, and there's a little amethyst here. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to zoom in. All right, so interesting. I'm looking at these 2 cards, and both of them have 2 figures, 2 women or girls, and the gift card, there's a little girl, and they're both facing each other, but they're very different cards. So with gift, we have the older lady mermaid, or not older lady, but older than the girl there, and she's sort of looking down at her, and she's presenting her with a gift, and the little girl is like kind of looking up at her in awe. And then with Judgment, we have two women facing each other, and they seem like they're staring each other down. They're like locked into some sort of competition or argument or disagreement. So they're very similar cards, yet very different cards in a lot of ways. And it looks like the mermaid is giving her like a crown of amethyst. I think that's amethyst. And then we have amethyst here. So there's a lot of purple on these cards. So that's interesting. And amethyst is a very spiritual stone. It's kind of, it represents the upper chakras and like a connection to the bigger picture, to like the spiritual energies that connect us all, and spiritual guidance. So it's a very upper chakra type of stone. I think I'm going to begin with the Judgment card. I'm just going to kind of go into this card. So there's a moth at the top, and those moths always make me think of that movie Silence of the Lambs. I think that movie ruined moths for me. I've never looked at moths the same way. But I think that it's also it can be a symbol of death as well. And in a way, rebirth. It's like death, rebirth. Yeah. And with this card, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Devil card, because these women are bound by chains and they're staring at each other. But they're surrounded by that moth, which I said represents like death and rebirth, transformation. And they're also surrounded by amethyst, which I said was kind of a symbol of spiritual guidance and connection. So it's like these women are locked in this argument where they're locked in this argument. They're looking at each other, yet they're surrounded by things that could help them. Like these symbols are kind of what they need to tap into in order to transcend where they're at. Right now they're stuck, they're bound, they feel like they can't move forward or solve their problems or their argument and see eye to eye. But if they were to tap into that spiritual energy of the amethyst and tap into those upper chakras, and even tap into the energy of death and transformation, like letting something go, letting the argument die, being willing to transform your perspective. All of these things are going to help them get out of that gridlock. What does it mean to us? Why has this card shown up for us? I think all of us have some area where we're gridlocked, whether this is in a relationship or some other area of our life, or even these two women can represent two parts of yourself. Like maybe your ego is in gridlock with your higher self, or your soul's desire is clashing with your fears or something like that. And then we have the other card, the gift card. And here we see really just sort of this spirit of friendship and generosity. So very, very different. It's like the energy of the Judgment card has transformed into this card. I feel like this card has shown up because there's something that you have to offer, and either you have something to offer another person in your life that's going to be really meaningful and helpful for them, or you just have gifts that you want to offer the world in more of a general sense. It doesn't have to be specific to one person. But this card is asking you to recognize your gifts, because there's no way you can share your gifts if you haven't first recognized what those gifts are that you're wanting to share. So I feel like these two cards are interesting in that I feel like on one level they're asking you to look at your relationships more deeply and to bring that spirit of generosity and friendship and helpfulness that we see with the gift card, bringing that into starting to integrate that into your relationships more. And yeah, that's what I'm getting from these two cards. So as always, I invite you to share your own take on the cards and your own interpretation. I can hear my cat in the background. She's getting antsy. She wants to go outside. So yeah, overall, really great deck. It's a deck that I've used a lot since I've gotten it, which is saying a lot because I have so many Oracle decks, but this is the one I've really been reaching for a lot lately. And it's the Awakened Soul Oracle by Ethony Dawn. And I'll put the link to where you can purchase this deck or find out more just in the description box right below this video. Thank you so much for watching.